Woohoo! Watch
Guys,
it
be
go.
careful.
Watch camera. Watch it go. Boom.
Ryan was just such a funny, very funny, loving kid. He would make anyone smile.
Always happy. Nothing ever bothered him. He was always interested in new things. You know, life was what was in front of him.
You just have to cherish that because he was just such a sweet kid. He was my buddy. I got a call from his girlfriend, and she said that Ryan never showed up that night. So I called John at work and told him we had a problem. He looked on the computer and he called me back and he said there was an accident in Asher, Oklahoma last night and someone didn't live.
Ryan Hamm is driving his vehicle. He's coming north on Highway 177 out of just north of Asher, Oklahoma. Johnny Morton, who has been drinking, crosses left of center and head-ons Ryan.
They said someone had been life flighted and someone had been had died. And I prayed and prayed and prayed that it was Ryan that went to the hospital.
The state trooper came over that morning and he had told us that he had gotten killed at around 9 o'clock the night before. And over the course of the day, we did find out that it was a drunk driver that had hit him.
Johnny Morton had some history. He had a prior DUI that he got a deferred sentence on, and he had 2 pending DUIs over in Lincoln County, which is also in my district. One of the conditions of his bond and the original DUI that he got the deferred on was that he have what's called an interlock device in his vehicle, which is a device that he has to actually blow into this machine, and if he's been drinking, the car won't start. He didn't have it installed in this car. If he had just followed that simple rule, Ryan Hamm's still alive.
You know, the justice system had completely failed me in that moment. We spent the next 2 months writing to state senators, state representatives, the DA. I wanted Johnny to go to prison for his entire life.
He had to go to prison. The only question was, how long?
It's not like, oh good, this is a celebration. I mean, it was glad that he couldn't hurt anyone, but it's definitely not something celebratory. It's sad. I mean, it's basically 2 lives lost.
You know, initially, I think that was an expectation at every step that we got closer to him being put behind bars was a step towards healing. And every time we'd hit that step, it wasn't healing. It wasn't.
God put people in our lives, you know, all the way from the police officer to the DA to Faithbridge coming to our house that led our entire family into learning more about Jesus and what his plans are for us. And that he ultimately has all of our lives in his hands. On December 20th of 2018, John had gotten a call from the DA and he wanted to close up some of his cases before they left term and realized that Johnny's year-end review was up. They asked if we could come up the next day. We got babysitters and John came home from work. We packed a bag, we got in the car and we drove up to Oklahoma.
The reason we dropped everything to go was to prevent Johnny from reducing his sentence.
I think everybody was kind of agreed that he wasn't worthy of a modification at all.
So we get to the courthouse. You have your inmates up there, they're all shackled. It's hard to see the face of the kid that murdered your son. It's hard to see the hurt in the family, in his own family. And you could tell when he walked in He was broken. He was not the kid we saw a year ago.
Johnny Morton's attorney came to us and said Johnny, would like to talk to the Hamms. Rarely is a meeting with the person that killed your son successful.
John just said, I just really want to know, if he's remorseful. I want to hear his story. I just want to hear a little bit more before we go through what happened. Yeah, we just want some answers because we don't know what happened.
So we met with him.
I don't know, I grew up in Chandler, Oklahoma. It's a small town, everybody knows everybody. Played football from my whole life, growing up in 3rd grade through went to college, played ball there at Northeastern. My dad, my whole life, I'd come to high school and I'd come home for the summers and stuff. I'd come home drunk, right? And he'd be like, boy, you're gonna go to prison, or you're gonna kill somebody.
I remember clearly at the start of it, the room is very tense.
I walked in and he looked at me with this face like there's a mom and a dad behind this.
And that was rough.
And I ducked my head down and I just said a quick prayer and I said, God, please, whatever your will is, please let it happen here. I literally heard the words, I'm here. And I remember turning and looking around, and I still get goosebumps when I tell it. I remember looking around, huh? Who said that? And that's when there was just a magic in the room.
When John came in, the first words he said to me was, we forgive you. I mean, he didn't even sit down. He just walked in, and and it was just this shock, and the first thing he says is, we forgive you. Then I lost it, I started crying.
Johnny's crying, and John's tearing up, and Shannon's tearing up, and there is grace and forgiveness in a place that you would not expect it to be.
Losing Ryan, it puts a question on the faith. It puts a question on miracles. It wasn't good faith that just brought me right to, okay, I immediately know that I need to forgive because that's what Jesus would want me to do. But as we went through this process and it pushed me to understand more, my faith became stronger.
God gives us so much mercy, and it feels so good to have mercy on Johnny. I mean, he did kill our son, but the mercy that God gives us and shows us, it just feels good to show mercy towards someone that has caused a lot of harm and a lot of pain and suffering.
I wanted him to see, my heart and where my head is. I decided I wanted to go get in the faith and character program, and I met some really good people over there. I think that's led me to where I'm at now.
So Johnny leaves. He's taken back downstairs, and there's a great deal of discussion about what do we do with this.
We only had about 20 minutes to make a decision, and so we prayed over it. The 3 of us prayed over it.
At the end of the day, what the Hamms agreed to was to reduce that sentence down to a 5-year sentence in prison and a 15-year probationary period.
Nobody gets that. That's unheard of. This is a chance for me to completely start new, fresh. Like most people don't get an actual new start. This is completely my new start. I still can have my life again. I can still raise my son. They want me to be able to do something that I've taken away from them.
What happened in that room leaves no doubt that God was there.
There's just this weight that's just been lifted off your chest that this is the right thing to do. And it is so freeing, and it feels so good.
This case was, I think it was 4 days before Christmas where we met. And here in a small room on the top floor of a courthouse in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where it should be vengeance and anger, but God's in the room, and you've got grace and mercy and forgiveness. It was a Christmas miracle.